Hello, 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 everyone. How's it going? Oh, now I'm not going to be on too long tonight. I know it's late. I know. Uh, I I did wake up at a decent time. My brother came by though, hung out with him for a little bit. Um, I just want to look at some videos. And tomorrow we'll probably be on Monster Hunter all day. I'm not too far. I'm on like HR 20, something like that. But let's actually get into it.
I will, though. It seems unlikely.
Oh, I was watching Asmongold. All right, I have seen some videos that I actually want to react to. I've seen this one. Already. We can watch this one since it's right here, and I just want to check it out. I did put it in my watch later. I have a couple of my couple of videos in my watch later, but we're gonna check this one out first. 6 days it was uploaded. The #1 worst people in gaming are at it again. Okay, what's she have to say? Let's hear her out. Let's hear her out. Like the title says, the #1 worst people in gaming are at it again, man. Come on, again? Nah, man.
My channel is sponsored by HelloFresh, which means we will have an ad for them somewhere in the middle of today's video. Which, by the way, this video was supposed to be completely different. I had a whole other video planned to go up today about the Marvel Rivals stuff, which I will now push probably to next week. But there was something that happened quite quickly that I wanted to publish immediately. And because of some of the things that I hypothetically have uncovered here, I feel the need to give a legal disclaimer before we start. The following video is intended for entertainment and informational purposes only. All opinions expressed are my own and are based on my personal experiences, research, and understanding. If anything in this video is inaccurate or misleading in any way, it is unintentional. Please verify all information independently.
I love disclaimers, but most people ain't gonna care, okay?
Basically, this whole thing is a lot deeper than I expected and gets crazier and crazier as this video goes on. So, enjoy. So I had like this whole other video planned for today that was ready to go, and then I made a swap because I came across something that I really want to talk about that seems like it would benefit from being spoken about faster. Basically just like the kind of news it feels like if we can spread it that we may be able to help. So this video is going to be far less produced than my videos usually are. And also my hair's all wet and it is what it is. I just wanted to show this to you. So this is up on r/gamedev. Great subreddit. I like it all the time. It's posted by Steel Krill and the story is a big scam company just stole my whole game from Steam, ripped it, and sold it as their own on PlayStation and other consoles.
What?
First time I've ever heard of something like this happening. So the post says, hope you guys are all well. So recently I released the Backrooms 1998 on PlayStation, Xbox, Steam, and Nintendo Switch. I was pretty happy with myself and all that, you know, been in development for quite a while and being a solo developer and having my game finally on consoles is always awesome to see. This is the game. It is a found footage survival horror game, which sounds really cool. They have very positive ratings already, even though the game just came out. And yeah, is made by Steel Krill Studio. They said, anyway, someone commented on one of my videos and violently, big thanks to him, asked me why I am releasing the same game with its name changed on consoles and I got a little bit confused. I explained that this game was never on consoles before and I've just released it now, and they provided a link to a video, and behold, long story short, this company called Cool Devs SRL, of course that's what you would call yourself if you were doing something like this, stole my whole game, ripped it, pasted some bad AI crap on it as a cover. Wow, how unsurprising. Literally made a bad version of it and just published it on consoles and sold it to trick players into buying it. They stole the whole game as it is, alongside the music, sounds, voice lines, and everything else. They only changed the monster and the picture on the frame. Have side-by-sides of images up so that you can like really see what they did. So the Backrooms 98. I really should get my glasses. Hang on. They're not in there. Why do I do this? Why
I've
do I
been
do
there
this?
before.
Okay, that's fine. Who needs them? Okay, sorry. It says the Backrooms 1998 is a survival horror, and that's identical. This appears to be identical. Obviously, this art extremely similar. The same table. You've even got the same chair. This is the same desk. Even the placements of like the 100%. This is just a straight ripped game. The dev addresses it here. The reason it feels a bit different is because post-processing and because they made a worse version of it, but literally everything is stolen, which sure is. Someone here said, forgive my ignorance, but how do you think they managed to get the assets and source code in the first place? They purchased the game and managed to convert the game.
Hold on, I'm gonna move my camera to the other side. She keeps moving.
Game files into source files. I went on to say, we have already submitted a DMCA and working with my publisher on this one, and for now the game is taken down from PlayStation and Xbox, but it's still up on Nintendo Switch. In the meantime, if you can report the fake game, I will leave a link in the description for you guys to all report this fake game, because it is still up on the Switch shop. Backrooms Horror Escape. Yeah, no. It does look bad too. It really doesn't look anywhere near as good as the filtered version. Shocking. How surprising. They're charging $9 for this completely stolen thing. Jesus Christ. I will try my best in posting this to other subreddits to make more people aware. From what I uncovered, this is a whole big scam where they open a bunch of companies, mostly around the SRL, and upload fake games / scams in order to trick buyers to buy them, which is a big part of this that I also hadn't heard about before. This is apparently not the first time that this studio has done this studio, but they said it seems like they have additional companies, 4 or 5, maybe even 6+, that are tied to this scam. And so there is a second Reddit post about this. This one's from 3 months ago on the PS5 subreddit. Sorry, I know this video is a lot more like me reading Reddit than my videos would normally be, but wanted to talk about it quickly. If you checked the games to wishlist section on PS5 recently, you might have noticed something frustrating. It's completely flooded with low-effort shovelware games from shady developers exploiting Sony's system, which is 100% true. These aren't real games, they're quickly made asset flips with fake release dates, and the developer is abusing the system to dominate visibility. Sometime back, the same developer got caught gaming the games to wishlist section by assigning release dates years into the future to push their games to the top of the list. How shitty. In response, Sony changed the section to prioritize games coming out the soonest instead, but this developer didn't even try to hide their sleazy tactics. They simply started setting all their games to release tomorrow and then changing the date every single day, meaning that their crappy stolen games would be directly hurting the marketing potential of actual earned indie games and their spots on a genuinely important list. There aren't that many ways to advertise indie games. It is very difficult to reach people right now. This is just so crappy. Sony eventually reverted the section back to showing the furthest out games first, and now we're back to square one. Once again, section is dominated by the same developer. And according to this post, here are some things that they've been up to. One is using fake names to flood the store. They said the developer now operates under more than a dozen fake company names, including Midnight Works SRL, Cool Devs SRL, Gaming Dev SRL. Imagine naming your game dev company that. Gaming Dev. We steal video games. It's easy to confirm that all these games are by the same developer, because on other platforms, they're all published under the primary name. They share nearly identical AI-generated box art and minimalistic gameplay. These are a bunch of Cool Devs games on the Switch eShop. Yeah, they really all do look like Angry Neighbor Simulator? What's going on there? Visa border control? Is this Papers, Please? Okay, I don't think so. I don't think so. But it could be. It could be. That's insane. But yeah, in agreement that this all is very clearly / looks very clearly AI generated. They all look very similar. It is time to talk about HelloFresh. You know, they say
So, are these on PlayStation also? like she's showing the Switch and they're talking about the Switch, but the the post was on the PlayStation subreddit, right? It- Or PlayStation doing anything about it? Is that the reason she's not showing PlayStation? She's showing Nintendo, and I mean it's obvious they have so many games up on Nintendo. It's obvious Nintendo's not doing anything about it. But I want, how long has this been going on? Because it's obvious this is thievery. They're just stealing people's stuff and putting different filters on it and making some AI generated cover art for it. I mean, this, especially doing it to small devs, because obviously it's obvious like that first guy. I mean, it's not a very big studio. It's probably just him, maybe another person, a couple other people or something. That this is the first time I'm hearing about this, and I'm always on YouTube, Twitter kind of, Reddit and X and TikTok. But this is my first time actually hearing about this, so I wonder how long this is has actually been going on. We've all heard of shitty games being released on these places like PlayStation, especially Steam. Like there's so many games that get released every day, and most of them are crap. I'm sorry, devs, but they're not the best games. There are some hidden gems there if you actually look, but most of the time, people just throw something together, then throws it out there, and doesn't really go anywhere. But I wonder how many games are just stolen from other people. That's just a scummy move at the end of the day. You can probably say, Fonzie, how can you say that when you show people content all the time? Well, I'm reacting to content and I'm making it my own. I'm transforming it in a way like, how long's her video? 19 minutes. My video is going to be way longer than 19 minutes. I do this to put my opinion out there. If you want to hear it, okay, stay and watch. If you don't, leave. I'm not really stealing people content, and I definitely gonna give her credit. Okay, you can go if you don't want to watch my video. You want to watch the original video. You can. The link would be down there in the description and link to her channel. Like I always say, I don't want to steal. I always try to give everybody their props. She's the one who made the video. Now, if I just straight ripped her video and put a slight filter on it, then put a whole different thumbnail on it, now that's scummy, and that's basically what these people are doing. It's just fucked up.
But yeah, in agreement that this all is very clearly / looks very clearly AI generated. They all look very similar. Today, I can be really
I'm going to jump ahead
about eating breakfast. Like, use my code. Check out HelloFresh. So sorry, back to things that they're doing. Many titles have simulator in the name, and most of the companies conveniently end in SRL, which again, if you look at the games here, Taxi Driver Simulation, Angry Neighbor Simulator, Border Control Simulator, obviously, Card Shop Simulator? I don't know. Okay. They are fake games with no substance. These games are quickly produced asset flips, essentially one Unity environment with no objectives or gameplay. A typical title might let you drive this bulldozer around this town with no actual mechanics. These are not real games. This is the first post that seems to be about this from what I can see. This is 2 years ago from Spelled Wrong on the PlayStation subreddit. Again, talking about Midnight Works SRL. They submitted 14 games all at once, all of which were awful asset flips and tricked the PS5 dashboard. So like we said, yeah, they had Bus Simulator, Construction Machine Simulator, Firefighter Simulator, Rail Truck Driver Simulator, Farming Tractor Simulator, Subway Simulator, Skateboard Drifting Simulator with Cat. Well, now we're talking. So I tried to dig a little deeper, and this appears to be the Midnight Works website, midnight.works. If we click on games here, this is a full list of all of their games.
Got a lot of games.
Mudness 2. Wow. Where can I find Mudness? This is too many games for anyone to make. This is too many games. And yeah, all really, all very, very similarly styled. Their Facebook page, where their last post was February 12th. Midnight Sun Works is looking for talented and ambitious professionals. They need a Unity developer, UX, US designer, QA manual, level designer, graphic designer. I mean, those are real jobs. Send a resume to HR@midnight. I guess they make like TikTok memes? They appear to have multiple offices in Romania and Moldova. We finance game development.
Can I just say, like, they are working hard to look legit. They are working fucking hard, you know? And that's going to fool some people. But, you know, you actually are online or try to play these games, and, you know, I'm just going to say, like, shit, people haven't noticed that they're stealing games for a long time. That post was from 2 years ago. That's a very long time to not be noticed. But who will really notice when you go to their website, look them up? They look legit. They're asking for, you know, certain positions and stuff that are legit in the gaming space and developing space and stuff. This is wild. I'm sorry, this is wild.
They offer publishing indie games made by solo or small team. We invest in single game projects. Really? We went from this to this. The story started a little earlier than that. Our journey has had its ups and downs, with many difficult decisions and moments when we thought it was the end for Midnight Works. But every time we emerge stronger. To keep it brief, we'll highlight the most significant milestones that had the greatest impact on our journey to become a leading game development and publishing studio. It started with a message. We hardly knew each other, but we had a gut feeling that we'll create something great together. Our workspace was a coffee shop. We had no employees, no money in our pockets. There was just us and our big ambition giving us limitless energy and driving us forward. November 25, here's our first office. We do have their names there, I guess. Their first game is Tube Rush, which, okay, is just an obvious copy of, what is it? Like that Subway
Surfer
game? What's it called? Yeah, Subway Surfers, which came out, you guessed it, 2012. Tube Rush, definitely not Subway Surfers, I guess, came out in 2017. We put so much effort into it. We didn't know how to create games, we didn't even know how to advertise them, and we didn't even know what app to use to create games. We only had a burning desire to create something amazing. I don't know how this could be anything other than just bad Subway Surfer. How could it be anything else? Tube Rush, bro? Okay. I'm not seeing evidence that Tube Rush exists. Here we go, Tube Rush. Out now, play on the App Store. This is so obviously a scam, dude. This is like, I guess, one of their advertising techniques. Download the game, record a video of you playing it, and show your high score. Post on your Instagram or Facebook. Tag 3 friends to the challenge. Tag us. Winner will be chosen in 48 hours. Person with the highest score wins $200. This is just, they posted a picture of London and just put Tube Rush on top of it. What? Who made that sandwich?
Hold on, can you actually like download it? I'm gonna go to the Microsoft, see what's going on. Let me check on my phone too. Tube Rush. Let's see what's going on here. Not that. Tube. I don't know. Are you trying to say Thai? I don't want Thai. Okay. It's not on the Apple Store. That's what you get. So is this thing actually a game? Nope. Nope. You see here, like, Tube Rush. Not there. So it's not even a game. So how do you get it?
I don't know how similar. I mean, it's Subway Surfers. Who are we kidding? I was gonna be like, maybe it's different enough. I've not played Subway Surfers, but that's what it is. Anyway, first big hit, Hashiraya Drifter. What are people saying about Hashiraya drifting? Mixed, 69. I mean, he's got some really positive reviews somehow. Product received free, bro. What the fuck this game even is? Honestly, just a bad game. Bad game, don't buy. It's basically a laggy mess of a mobile game. Yeah, so I guess this is a mobile game that was ported to Steam. Really wanted it to be good. When it first published, it had potential, but developer infested it with microtransactions and loads of crap. It needs a lot of work the developer is not willing to put in. The game is dead, and they didn't fix anything to make it work with PC. It doesn't support controllers, and you can't remap buttons. Basically, don't buy the game. This mobile app is infested with a mobile app-like cash shop for unlocking in-game currency and features, whether these are purely cosmetic or they alter your game experience significantly. This gamer gouging practice is unethical and insulting to gamers. From zero to Lambo in 2021. We've had one more dream besides growing our company. You might think that this isn't related to the success of our story, but it is. Nobody believed that we will achieve this but us. So I guess they're making enough money to buy Lamborghinis? That's interesting. I'm so surprised this grift is that successful.
As players, as consumers, we don't want to see what you can buy now. We don't care if you can buy fancy cards, even though this is probably totally a lie, you know? Because obvious, like, they're still in games. They're just ripping off other games that you can't even find, and the games that are out are just straight terrible. I doubt this like is true, but nobody wants to see that. You know, oh, you can buy a Lamborghini, a fucking $20 million mansion. We don't care. We don't care, like, especially if you're a developer who's not even big and they just have terrible games. Like, how the fuck are you getting? It's terrible. Why am I on this? Because this is just stupid.
Successful. I mean, unless they just went to a dealership and bought a picture of a Lamborghini, which is also
they probably just
definitely possible. Their last update is from 2023. Why do you have a car in your lobby? What's that doing there? Bunch of pictures of the team members, I guess. Wow, it's like, I mean, it's a pretty big team. They are all notably very young, which I feel like is kind of relevant. 2023 Midnight.Works reached another major milestone by moving into a state-of-the-art office with a team of over 240 individuals. We've established ourselves as leaders in the gaming industry, owning multiple game studios, offering publishing services and funding to emerging game studios, and having more than 100 game titles in the market. We are eager to see what the future holds and can't wait for the next exciting chapter in our journey. This is the CEO and founder. Looks like he has a pretty dead Twitter account. Very pro ChatGPT. That makes a lot of sense. The customer is nearly always wrong. They are successfully pulling shady deals to kind of scam indie game devs, from what I can tell, which there's a bunch of posts also like this, and they are clearly making a ton of money. I was like, surely this isn't working that well. It seems like it's working very well. So here's a post on the game dev subreddit, Midnight.Works publishing team advice. Hello all, this is from Anorak on a Girl 1 year ago. Hello all, I'm hoping someone may have some experience around this publisher to give me some advice. I created a game which is for sale on Steam right now, which sold very badly, less than a dozen sales in fact. I recently received an email from someone stating they are from Midnight.Works publishing team. They seem to be offering a too good to be true offer, and I am a bit concerned this is a scam. I've heard so many horror stories of people who agree to use a publisher and then lose all control over the game and even end up owing money to the publisher themselves. They're offering to do all the work to port the game to Xbox and PlayStation, then publish the game there. Why would they offer this? This is for sure because that trick that they were using to end up at the top of wish lists was actually making them money. I think it might be that when they got caught out, like, stealing games, which they've clearly done again anyway, they started taking very small indie game devs that they could exploit, offering them shady deals, selling their games on Xbox and PlayStation, and using their exploit to get at the top of recommended lists just to make $7 on a game that a lot of people would end up just deleting. It feels like a scam email to cast a net to a lot of people and see who they can catch before I dismiss.
Because we won't get back to her, but a lot of people don't realize, like, if you're probably watching me on YouTube, you probably watch a lot of YouTube videos, you're probably on the internet a lot. a lot of people aren't on the internet a lot. They will see a game on the, new games or top selling or whatever, and they'll buy that game, especially if it's like $7 or $8. It's a cheap game. It looks cool, even though they don't know that art is AI generated. But that's another story because a lot of art these days are AI generated. But they see that, they buy it, and this is the thing that separates people who live on the internet and watch YouTube videos and all that, and your average person. They would buy that game, and your average person won't refund it. They be like, "Oh, this game sucks." Well, it's only $7, and delete it and never think about it again. Now you gotta think about that's hundreds of thousands of people that do that, and you might have some people who actually keep playing the game for some reason, even though it's terrible, and might actually spend money on it or in it. You know what I mean? But on the other hand, you got people like you, me, who will buy that game, be like, "Oh, this is total shit," and like on Steam, what you have like an hour, 2 hours to actually refund that game. We're gonna fucking do that. We're gonna fucking push that button real quick and be like, "No, I want my money back." But a lot of people aren't like that, and it's under. I can see how they make a lot of money. They on PlayStation keep changing the date to be on that top page. A lot of people are going to see it. A lot of average people are going to see it and spend, $7 to $10 on a game because that's really not that much. It's better than $60 to $100 on a game. So I can understand why they're making a lot of money. It's stupid, and like I said, it's a real scummy move. And if they actually do have a lot of these employees, that's a lot of employees. The CEO has to know that they're doing this, so he's probably a part of it. It's
And I'm just deleting. It feels like a scam email to cast a net to a lot of people and see who they can catch. Before I dismiss, I just wanted to see if anyone else knew these publishers and could give some advice. There's a reply here from Cornelius Joe. Please read this. I got an email from them as well for my Steam game, but these guys are shady AF. I bought into it for a bit and agreed to go through with the deal. But to seal the deal, they make you sign this super sketchy NDA that forces you to give them all your passport info and other ID related stuff. Okay, that's insane. Why?
what? Your passport information and other ID related stuff. They won't ask for that. That is
info and other ID related stuff? Okay, that's insane. Why? Why would you? Why are they? Is it identity theft? Is that what they're doing? What's the long game for that? Okay, this is nuts, dude. I can't believe how deep this rabbit hole is going. Okay, so I told them off and threatened possible legal action. To sum it up, after some digging, I found out their parent company actually owns other scam businesses, and their main goal with Midnight Works is most likely identity theft? Dude. Person said, same year I signed the NDA, it didn't seem dangerous. However, it did all seem a bit shady, and I stopped responding to their emails. I just read about this identity theft thing, and it has me a bit concerned. Man, it sounds like they really just send out like blanket emails. So the deal here is they will port it over to all consoles and will take a 50% cut on all sales for a game that hasn't sold much. After Googling this company, I came across multiple expose videos and forum threads, including this one. Man, wild. Another person here said, I'm thankful for this topic. In the email, they claimed they had played my game, which caught me off guard. I almost believed it, but a friend pointed out that the part where they described my game could be AI generated. Well, we already have the CEO/founder admitting.
So this has a bit. How many views does she have on this? 184,000. Okay. Hey, Asmongold, you need to look at this video. Has he already looked at this video? Let me know in the comments. I feel like he can really get the message out, I mean, she's got a decent amount of views, but this Asmongold, react to this, man. We need you.
That he likes ChatGPT.
They need you.
No way
I
of knowing
don't.
if this is true,
I'm not a game
obviously,
developer.
but from OK Detective. I was a game developer in this company a few years ago. They are lying. They make fictitious projects. The release dates are all postponed all the time. They make all kinds of schemes in which to deceive the players of video games. They have no morality. Their priority is how to earn more. Even the developers don't stay with them for more than a few months because they see what they do, but the management remains the same. They practically change hundreds of employees every year. Now, here's something extra fun that I've just dug up in my digging up of all of this. This is on NintendoLife.com. Publisher Midnight Works allegedly targeting YouTuber for calling out its scam Switch games. So we'll see if that happens to me too. Worth it. YouTuber Luke
What?
Wilder of channel Switch Stars, which focuses primarily on highlighting low-effort, low-quality games to avoid on the Switch eShop, has published a video detailing what he believes to be an attack on his channel orchestrated by the publisher Midnight Works. The Moldovan company is responsible for much of the software Wild has covered in recent years. In the video, he shows messages history via Discord tipping him off to a request allegedly sent to Midnight Staffworks asking them to submit false reports to YouTube. Wild details DMs claim to be from whistleblowing Midnight Works employees. Oh my gosh, this company's terrible. The message, when machine translated, appears to be a request sent via the Midnight Works Slack channel asking employees to randomly select and submit harassment reports for 5 to 10 of Wild's videos. 1 strike from your home computer, 1 strike from your phone. Oh my god. Looking at back-end stats on his channel, Wild surmises that increased activity soon after this message was supposedly sent indicates its legitimacy. A further screenshot he received the following day appears to show the same request, this time with a timestamp, and the company's human resources manager also displayed as the sender, with the recipient shown to be 239 members of this team in a Slack group. Unlike copyright claims with which Midnight Works has previously filed against Switch Stars. Holy shit. Wild says harassment reports are anonymous and he receives no notifications even when they are submitted. This Switch Stars channel is not even big, but this is them covering one of their games.
Okay. That's exactly what I was talking about at first. The reason a lot of us probably haven't heard of this, I haven't. Like, I'm on YouTube a lot. It's not a very big channel. No shade to you, Luke, Switch Stars. I bet you have a wonderful channel, but I feel like we need somebody like sorry, we need somebody like Asmongold who can get like 500, 600,000 views like in a few days. You know, over 1 million views in a week. You know, we need him to look at. I don't know if he's already looked at this. I don't think so. I haven't seen. Let me know down in the comments. But you know, this is one reason. Like, of course, I do it too. Like reaction content, or especially like Asmongold's content, it can be helpful to get a message out there. You know, and hopefully I can do that someday. Like watch a video and get millions of views on it. But this is a very big deal. A scummy move, I should say. Like I understand like how AI and stuff is a big talking point. Is it taking people jobs and stuff like that? I feel like this is a much bigger deal. People just stealing people's content just outright, just stealing it. Okay, that is fucked up.
Leave a link to this channel as well because it looks like they do a pretty good job of covering Midnight Works and scammed games in general. Well, that's just like a copy of Power Wash Simulator. Man, this sucks. This sucks. This is so much deeper than I thought. I'll leave a link to that channel, but Switch Stars actually posted this, which is like an official web of deceit about this company.
Jesus.
What is going on? Wait.
Web of lies.
Wait. This is crazy. Okay. This rabbit hole is so much deeper than I thought. Okay, so we've deduced that Cool Dev, who stole this game, the parent company, their parent company is Midnight Works. This comment says the company...
What? And
The company
believe
owner is the son of a crooked politician in Moldova called Ion Bivol. This would be Victor Bivol. So I'm going to check. Let's double check on this name. But I guess you can't find anything about him easily because he shares a name with a judo player. What if I go Moldova Midnight Wax? That didn't really give me anything. But I guess, okay, the suggestion here is that Ion Bivol is this guy's dad. He has integrity issues and a criminal record. Do they look related? This guy and this guy? Yeah. I mean, hard to say, I guess. That's a tough one to follow up on, but what is going on? This is insane. I'm really bummed out that I wasn't able to verify that any better. I thought somebody had their game stolen, and it turns out we found like a whole scam publisher that is maybe also like backed by a rich guy who works for the Moldovan government. What?
That's a good video. I give her that. It's a good video. I'm gonna give her a like. Let's go and give her a like for this video. I'm already subscribed to her, but if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have known about this, you know? And a lot of other people probably won't know about this because they're not gonna see her video, and they're especially not gonna see my video. But that's why I say Asmongold should react to it. Now, I'm not gonna post in his subreddit and try to, make him watch it. This needs to come naturally. But if he already has, let me know in the comments. Because this whole thing is wild and straight thievery firsthand. And it's like not even good games. That one guy who, we looked at his game at first, that first game, it didn't look too bad. But all the other games, I don't know if they're making them, just making direct like copies of these games, like Subway Surfers. Didn't look too good. Okay, so I don't know what the plan is. Like, I do know what the plan is. I know, get these games, make these people sign the NDA to get some of their information, actually get the game, put it on these platforms. The games aren't that good. I'm sorry. I know a lot of you probably worked hard. It's probably just you. You're going to get better, but I'm going to call it like it is. Some of these games aren't the greatest, but they know how to market these games, and get your average player to actually buy the game. So they are slick. I will give them that. There are some crafty people, but it's still a piece of shit move to do. But I'm out of here, okay? Everyone, give me a like, subscribe to me if you want to see more videos, and ring that bell. And like I always say, I try to always say, have a good day or night whenever you're watching this. Peace. Okay, that was a good video. So let's go to watch later. So we have this. Put me back up here real quick. All right. So you can't see what the thing says right here. It says Asman is a Nazi. That's some bold. That's a bold statement. And I will have to disagree with that. You know, what the fuck am I looking for? Oh, right here. But I would have to disagree with that. Now, Asmongold isn't perfect at all. I won't say that. And I don't agree with everything he says, but he's a pretty okay guy. You know, not terrible. He doesn't try to scam anyone or anything like that. He doesn't do no shady stuff, really. I mean, in his way, he tries to stay in his own lane. But let's see. Should we watch the original video first? Let's so hold on, cuz that's not the original video. Wait, how do you I feel stupid right now. Fucking dyslexia. There we go. Is this it? Okay, 23 hours ago. So let's actually watch this first and see what he has to say, okay?
This. What's up, everyone? If you're seeing this, that means I've probably been banned. That's right. Cancel culture has finally come for me. Oh my God, it's over. It's over. The free speech warriors. Where are you now? They've taken me out, ladies and gentlemen. It's over. I'm done. A couple days ago, I had a conversation where I was responding to the Republican House of Representatives Speaker, and I said some things. Let's take a look at what I said. Libs of TikTok, of course, posted about it. Here's what Libs of TikTok claimed I was saying. Hassan Parker just called for violence against a sitting U.S. senator. If you cared.
All right. I'm covering him up. I'm going to move myself again. All right.
About Medicaid fraud, you would kill Rick Scott at FBI. This got 17,000 likes. This was on February 28th. Let's take a look at this clip really quickly.
There's about $50 billion estimated that are lost every year in Medicaid just in fraud alone. No.
If you cared about Medicare fraud or Medicaid fraud, you would kill Rick Scott. Okay? You wouldn't make Rick Scott, former governor of Florida, Rick Scott, you wouldn't make him a prominent part of the Republican Party. Now, that seems like a wild thing to say. Oh my God. Is this person calling for the death of a U.S. senator? Of course not. I was not calling for the assassination of a U.S. senator. So I went back to figure out the context. Here it is. Let's take a look.
Are people who are covered by Medicaid now going to potentially lose Medicaid coverage as a result of this?
No, look, the White House has made a commitment. The president said over and over and over, we're not going to touch Social Security, Medicare, or Medicaid. We've made the same commitment. Now, that said, what we are going to do is go into those programs and carve out the fraud, waste, and abuse and find efficiencies. Couple of examples. You know, there's about $50 billion estimated that are lost every year in Medicaid just in fraud alone. No.
That fraud is not coming from individuals, it's coming from providers. They're not tackling providers. They're not actually going after like false billing. They are trying to cut recipients. If you cared about Medicare fraud or Medicaid fraud, you would Rick Scott. The reason why I'm saying if you cared about Medicare or Medicaid fraud, you would kill Rick Scott is because, and not make him a prominent part of the Republican Party, is because he to this day is still known as committing the largest Medicare fraud in U.S. history. They want to cut SNAP. They want to cut Medicaid. They want to cut the funding of Medicaid. They want to make it harder for people to receive Medicaid. They don't want to actually go after medical providers or the insurance companies or the nursing homes that are lining their pockets with major donations. Those are the people who actually engage in the fraud. It's not your uncle that's like lying about their condition and stealing money from the government by, going to the doctor or whatever. Okay, so obviously I shouldn't have used hyperbolic language, and there's definitely some ownership that I must take. Some apologies there. I should not have said.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, I get what he was saying. I get it, but a lot of people are it's going to take that out of context. It's obvious with somebody that's clipping that. It's going to take that out of context. That's why you shouldn't say things like that, even though in the big picture, the full context of it, you're not really saying, like, you're not really meaning that, like, somebody should go out and do that. But people are stupid. Not everyone. Some people don't have common sense. They just hear that. And, some people are going to get mad about it. And a person might take that as justification to do something, to actually do that, because they're not in the right mindset, I'm going to say. So, like, I'm just going to say at the end of the day, you shouldn't have said that. You should have worded it a different way. Like, take him out of the picture, make him step aside or something, not, unaliving him. It's kind of a little much to say, but I get what he was saying. I can understand that he's not really meaning it like that, seeing the full clip. But if I would have just seen that small snippet of it, I would have been like, that's horrible. Why did you say that? Blah, blah, blah.
Mike Johnson should kill Rick Scott. I should have simply said Mike Johnson should punish Rick Scott, perhaps with the, maximum punishment, whatever that would be.
That's a better
defrauding Medicare and Medicaid for over $1.7 billion. Now let's talk about the things that he did in this process, because Rick Scott co-founded the Columbia Hospital Corporation, which later merged to a corporation known as Columbia/HCA, which eventually became the nation's largest for-profit healthcare company. Rick Scott, who of course also looks like Voldemort, did a lot of things. The company defrauded Medicare, Medicaid, and other federal programs. The U.S. Department of Justice won 14 felony convictions against the company, which was fined $1.7 billion in what was at the time the largest healthcare fraud settlement in United States history.
HCA was defrauding the government.
HCA admitted to things like submitting inflated bills and exaggerating diagnoses to increase Medicare reimbursements.
According to federal investigators, the hospital company systematically defrauded Medicare, Medicaid, and other federal healthcare programs while paying kickbacks to its physicians. Scott, of course, denied any wrongdoing.
Scott pled the fifth 75 times to avoid jail for Medicare fraud.
He didn't go to jail over this. He didn't even get any punishments over this. And Scott's resignation certainly was fantastic. For his pockets, he walked away with $10 million in severance pay, a 5-year consulting contract, and $300 million in stock and options. He is now the wealthiest member of the United States Senate. Rick Scott also in the past apologized, took ownership seemingly over his actions, but since then, in his endless interest in gutting all of these social safety nets so the American poor suffer more, Rick Scott has actually seemingly turned around and thinks that this was political prosecution.
I want to say something real quick, because, to get a tiny bit political,
times to avoid jail for Medicare fraud.
He didn't go to jail over this. He didn't even get any punishments over this. And Scott's resignation certainly was fantastic. For his pockets, he walked away with $10 million.
Just to get a little bit political, not too much. You may call me, if I ever do go down that road, which I really don't want to, but I do have some concerns, strives, some worries. I get frustrated, but call me a fence sitter. I don't like either side of parties. I don't like the Democrats. I don't like the Republicans. I just don't. Because of reasons like this right here, not like this, well, like this, but this money, we have to understand these politicians, these people in the White House who, people who are governors or mayors and stuff. Now, they may not be the richest people in the world, okay? They're not super rich. I do understand that. But they are wealthy. Now, if you don't know the difference between rich and wealthy, it's not really that much of a difference. You still, if you're wealthy, you still have to kind of put in some work to make your money. But $10 million in cash. These people have money. Do you really think either side really cares too much about us? All we are to them are numbers and votes to get them into higher positions if they want it. Some of them don't like to move higher up, but some of them do because they want more power, which comes with more money. And they're going to say all kinds of stuff to get our vote, to get us on their side. That's one reason I can't really, stand firm with one side. Because I just find both sides kind of corrupt and, in their own little ways, just to get, like I said, them to get us on their side. Sorry. But, they have money. I don't think people realize that they have money. And if they do get fired or something, they're going to be okay. I mean, unless they do something terribly bad, and, to not get a job or something, or get put in jail or prison or something like that. They will have to really, really, really mess up. But, if it's something small, they're probably going to get another position in the state or the government or something. They're going to be totally fine. I'm sorry. I know I'm rambling on, but I just wanted to say that. Let's see what he has to say.
$1 in severance pay, a 5-year consulting contract, and $300 million in stock and options. He is now the wealthiest member of the United States Senate. Rick Scott also in the past apologized, took ownership seemingly over his actions, but since then, in his endless interest in gutting all of these social safety nets so the American poor suffer more, Rick Scott has actually seemingly turned around and thinks that this was political prosecution, pure political prosecution against him.
No, I'm fed up. I watched what happened to me and my company. I've watched what's happened. I've talked to business people over the years, what's happened to them when you have political persecution.
What I was simply trying to say is Republicans don't care about the actual fraud that takes place in terms of government entitlements programs, in terms of government expenditure, because if they did, they obviously would punish Rick Scott. Rick Scott would not be a prominent fixture of the Republican Party. Rick Scott, who was elected as the governor of Florida after he committed the largest Medicare fraud in U.S. history at the time.
$73 million. That's the amount that we know about so far that Scott and the Republican Party spent on TV advertising.
Rick Scott, who then went on to become the Florida senator.
On Sunday, a manual recount confirmed Republican Governor Rick Scott's victory over the incumbent Democrat Bill Nelson.
Once again, after doing insane amounts of Medicare fraud.
Elon Musk posted on X his support for Florida Senator Rick Scott for Senate Majority Leader.
This was simply the point. But of course, Republicans want to avoid this point. Asmongold, for those of you who don't know, is a right-wing political commentator. He does have some centrist opinions every now.
I wasn't sure. Like, I knew Asmongold reacted to this. I didn't see how far he got into it. I didn't know that he actually talks about him. I'm tired of seeing the slander on Asmongold's name. People are right to call him Asmongold a fence sitter, but I can see why, because like I said before, like, neither side is that good. You know? We're just fucking numbers. They really don't care too much about the average person, the people who are struggling out here. Like, maybe like you, like me. I'm the people who work 80 to 100 hours a week and still can barely afford food, rent, you know, and all this other stuff, you know, clothes, groceries. It's hard. It's hard. And people don't understand, like, these politicians, senators and stuff, they have money on both sides. Now, I'm not going to say everybody is bad, okay? I'm not going to put everybody in the boat, because there are some that are good. I would say, for what I've seen, and, you know, from, like, Bernie Sanders, like, he's a pretty good guy. Probably not perfect. I'm not going to call anyone perfect out there, but he's a pretty good guy, it seems like, you know, but he's the exception, not the rule, okay? Not everybody's like that in the Democratic Party, and not everybody is bad in the Republican Party, you know? But just saying, like, to say Asmongold is just on the right wing, no, he's not. If you actually watch his video, you've seen it early in the stream, you know, as soon as I showed my screen, I was watching Asmongold, because I actually watch him. And like I always say, like, I don't agree with everything he says. I just don't. Okay, he's not perfect. But this is, to say he's, you know, a Republican, he's on the right side, is not exactly true. You know, he says Trump and them, they do stupid stuff. He says that, you know, he points out the flaws in their logic. Same with the Democrats. He's more in the middle. You know, the one reason he entertains Trump and Elon and JD Vance a lot more, because they're more entertaining. Okay, they're just more entertaining. I will admit that. Even though I say that, I really don't like Trump that much. You know, he may be doing some good. I will say that, maybe. It's just the way he talks in his presentation. Like, yes, Asmongold likes that. You know, it's entertaining for him, and he gets hundreds to millions of views off of him. I just don't like to watch people that I really can't stand that often. Now, I will say I do like JD Vance, okay? I can understand, you know, I can tolerate him a lot more. I can actually watch him a lot more, and I can understand why people would like JD Vance, you know, compared to someone like Trump or even Elon. He's a well-spoken man, okay? And a lot of the stuff he says makes sense. Unlike Trump, who just goes on and talks he goes on, he just starts rambling and just starts telling real weird stories that makes any like no sense. Okay, that's not. It's just Okay, I'm done. I'm rambling on too much. This video is gonna be way too long. But just understand that like I'm really not on either side. I don't like neither one of them. Both sides, they have good people and they have bad people. I understand that. Asmongold, he's not really a right-wing person. Maybe he leans a little bit more over there, but he's a fence sitter, which I understand.
Now and then, I believe he himself actually is a big advocate for healthcare, likes Bernie Sanders, but spends most of his time simply sitting around and reacting to Donald Trump. He is now officially, by my estimate,
because he's more entertaining to people, to him. You know, for me, I don't like Donald Trump that much. I can't stand watching him.
A larger right-wing political commentator than even the likes of Ben Shapiro. Very successful in this field. His videos reacting to Donald Trump get millions of views, more so than the Daily Wire could ever dream of. Asmongold also is the largest political content creator on Twitch in general. He's the largest political streamer now. He's double my size. He's always been double my size, but he's now double my size when it comes to political commentary as well. So let's see what the largest free speech defender had to say. He actually voluntarily brings this up in a YouTube video called "What the Fuck is Twitch Doing?" The YouTube video is from 2 days ago with 1 million views. The first 13 minutes of it is just reacting to the latest Ethan Klein video, who is falsely smearing me as someone who doesn't care about Israeli civilians or whatever, which is obviously incorrect, but we'll get to that perhaps down the line. He packaged that up with the Libs of TikTok video to call.
Well, I wonder why he thinks that, and a lot of other people think that. I mean, it couldn't be because of what you say and stuff and how you say it. Nah, that couldn't be it. Nah.
For my banning.
Let me see if I can find it here. Like I do, as I said, I do try to maintain a degree of neutrality with a lot of this stuff. And I try not to go too like super hard on it. I'll link you guys the video real quick before I get into it. And
he's linking the Ethan Klein video to his audience because, you know, to show support.
Yeah, there's the video. It's the Ethan video.
Perhaps this is the reason why Ethan Klein doesn't talk about Asmongold and his.
He does that with every video, you know. I mean, I try to remember to link videos and stuff, which I should link the last video I watched too. I will get to that. Remind me, okay? I need to be reminded. But at least in my YouTube videos, you will find a link and a link to the channel too, no matter what it is, okay? Unless it's something I really, really, really disagree on, you know, or it's something very horrible. But this isn't a thing just for Ethan, okay? He does this for everyone. He links the video, and, you know, it's just, yes, it does show support, but it's the right thing to do. Even, you know, especially with Asmongold, he watches a lot of smaller creators' videos, and I feel like everybody should be treated equally, okay? If you're gonna link a small creator's video, link a big creator's too. Like, that's how I feel, like, because it's not, at the end of the day, this is not his content, this is not my content. So either way, you're gonna get a link to the original video. Just in case you don't want to see my dog shit takes or whatever you think, you can just go watch your video and, you know, have your own opinion on it.
His apologia for certain regimes of the past. You know, Ethan, who really cares about anti-Semitism, of course. That's why he constantly comes after me, someone he knows has a long track record alongside him at times, attacking anti-Semites and explaining to people what famous dog whistles are and things of that nature. But that'll be for a different day.
People are so ideologically captured, it's sad. I think a lot of people...
Two wrongs don't make a right. I mean, you know, Ethan has said some wild stuff in the past too. But, you know, does that not give him the right to call you out? I'm just saying, like, you know, it doesn't cancel it out. Like, oh, well, he was right there beside me. He said some questionable shit too. So what he's saying doesn't matter. You know, it's irrelevant. No. We need to look at you and him, but like, okay. We hear what you're saying, right? We hear what you're saying, but you said some fucked up shit too, man. You know? But Hassan, you're not the greatest either. You said this and this and that.
People are. I saw this the other day, actually this morning. Where is it here? Here we go.
Hey, Dan Clancy. Time to wish us on another happy birthday song, you hack fuck. Anyone else will get permabanned on Twitch for this. This is beyond the pale. This is enticing your audience to kill a sitting senator. Don't people go to jail for this? This is not me enticing my audience to kill a sitting U.S. senator. That is ridiculous. Everybody knows that that is ridiculous. The people that are complaining about this know that that is ridiculous. But I'm glad that I was able to show you the context, the full context of what I was talking about. If you cared about Medicaid...
But people just see that clip and the words weren't the greatest words to say, you know. Kill shouldn't have came out of your mouth at all. Because there are people who's going to misconstrue what you say, misinterpret what you say when you say stuff like that. You know, you are a big creator.
Care fraud or Medicaid fraud, you would Rick Scott, okay? You wouldn't make Rick Scott, former governor of Florida, Rick Scott, you wouldn't make him a prominent part of the Republican Party.
That is crazy.
It is crazy.
That is nuts. And I've said before, there's a statute of limitations, but apparently this was yesterday. Yeah, this happened yesterday even. Oh my God. How's that not against the TOS? It is. And it is an open call to violence. And I would challenge anybody who thinks that it's not an open call to violence to...
Now, this is where I'm kind of like, what's the word I'm looking for? Not disagree, but kind of like this, like, I wish he would have seen, like, the whole clip, right? He would have tried to look up the whole clip, like, hey, he's got, you know, I think modders or something. I'm not sure, but he's got people he can ask to, hey, can you give me the full clip of this, like, the whole thing, to see that part. But this brings me back to my whole point. People are going to see that clip and be like, yeah, that's fucked up. That's fucked up, and you deserve a ban from that, you know? And even looking at the longer clip, looking at the whole context of the video, it's so fucked up. You know? No matter what you say, like, and how you look at it, it's fucked up. You're saying, oh, they should kill him. Like, yeah, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. No matter who it's, you know, who it is, who it's targeted at, who it's not targeted at, what you actually mean is, don't say that.
To say that exact thing about Donald Trump, and then tell me if Secret Service shows up at your house or not. Really? It's very obviously a call to violence. And Twitch doesn't do anything? Well, I don't know if they've really seen it or anybody's reported it or anything like that.
I think Asmongold is covering this because he wants Twitch to see it. He's done this a couple times in the past couple of weeks. I understand. We are ideologically butting heads on Twitch. Asmongold and I.
Sorry. but I think you're a little paranoid there, buddy. Like, if you actually watch Asmongold, he doesn't like seek out anything. I mean, he may happen scrolling through X, see the post that he wants to talk about, like anyone would. Like, you know, I'm like that. You see, most of the time, like when I react to stuff, most of the time it's on, you know, this Reddit or YouTube. I'm just scrolling. Like, I'm not trying to call anyone out. I just see something and I want to talk about it. You know, Asmongold is pretty much the same way, or his audience wants him to watch something. You know, he's not, you know, trying to paint a target on his back. He just sees something and he just wants to talk about it.
I disagree vehemently on a lot of issues, all the way from the history of Nazi Germany down to the fact that immigrants are not actually contributing to the American crime rates in the way that the Republican administration presents it. They're not destroying
with that.
Our culture in the way that Asmongold approaches the subject matter. There's plenty of disagreements there, and I think that he's doing this deliberately, I will say, in an effort to, you know,
I guarantee you he's not.
Try to get me banned, which worked.
The clip's too short, maybe.
He might be. He might be. Okay, I don't know Asmongold personally, so I'm not gonna be like, yeah, he's definitely not. You know, I'm gonna come at this like I'm just a person in the middle. I see two content creators kind of going at it, you know, whatever. But personally, I don't think he's doing it on purpose. You know, he's seen something on his X feed and he's reacting to it.
Maybe it's out of context. I hope so. I definitely do. Hopefully it's out of context. How are you gonna...
Now, once he said this, does Asmongold go back and seek out the context? No, he doesn't. Instead, he follows through, basically packaging this as a Hassan is a radical who must be banned. It's a joke, Lamau, he responds to.
Would you tell that joke about Donald Trump?
I think people would tell way crazier jokes about Donald Trump, and people have told way crazier jokes about Donald Trump. My statement was...
Yeah, they have. But two things. A lot of them, I mean, okay, some of them were during when he was president, but a lot of them weren't really like, okay, look, at least from content creators, they don't really joke like that. And when they did, he wasn't president, you know, like, especially big content creators. Like, if I made a joke like that, it probably wouldn't be that big of a deal. But you have somebody big as Hassan and somebody equally as big as him making a joke like that about Donald Trump. No, they're not gonna do that. I don't care what he says. They're not gonna do that. Now, an average person like yourself watching this video, someone little tiny like me in content creation, they're probably gonna say that, because who's fucking gonna see the video or the live stream? No one. But I don't joke around like that. I disagree with a lot of people. I dislike some people, but I'm never gonna say they should be killed or harmed in any way, you know. I don't like people being harmed, period.
It's hyperbolic. That much is obviously clear. But the intention of it was not a call to violence directly against a sitting senator, but instead was to show the hypocrisy of the Republican Party in terms of how little they truly care about Medicare and Medicaid fraud, because that happens at the point of the provider and not necessarily in the point of the recipients. They want to cut Medicare and Medicaid for the recipients to the tune of $800 billion. And in order to justify that, they will do everything in their power to lie and claim that it's actually your grandparents that are stealing from Medicare and not people like Rick Scott. Because people like Rick Scott either fund the Republican Party, and oftentimes the Democratic Party as well, or they sometimes run for office.
Ooh, I like that. He even put the Democratic Party in that. Okay, I can get with that. See, my problem with Hasan, right? I don't watch him that often, first of all. Like, I may watch a few videos here and there, and I do follow him on Twitch, so I may pop in every once in a while, but he says some outrageous stuff. He does. He says some outrageous stuff, and I think that's one reason a lot of people kind of gravitates to him, and that's why some people don't like him, you know? This is a pretty good message right here, but who's really going to watch it and listen to what he's saying? A lot of people aren't, okay? Because of other shit he said in the past. The crazy shit he said.
Republican Party, and oftentimes the Democratic Party as well, or they sometimes run for office as Republicans.
Rick Scott has won re-election to the United States Senate. Here are the numbers.
That's the point. Now, should the likes of Asmongold seek out further context? I think yes.
I do.
When you have millions of people watching your videos, it would be nice to at least inform them of what the true context is. And now that this context exists, will Asmongold watch this video? Will he go back and...
You have, you know, thousands of people, tens of thousands of people watching the stream all the time. This is for Asmongold. He can ask somebody to, hey, can you find the full clip of it? Now, it's a little harder. Well, it's not that too much harder for like someone like me to just Google it and try to find it. I mean, but the only bad part, like, you know, I got to multitask. I have to look up stuff, keep y'all entertained at the same time while I'm trying to do all this in the background. You know, it's kind of hard. But he can ask his mods or somebody in his chat, hey, can you look this up for me? Find me the full clip of this real quick, because I want to see the full context of this video. But this is my opinion. Yes, he could actually looked it up and watched the full thing.
Say, hey, my bad. Maybe. I'll be honest. Perhaps he will do that. We shall see.
Trump didn't commit Medicare fraud, but yes, if he did, then yes. Okay, so then no.
He then follows up with another tweet of mine. This isn't Hasan's only first foray into political violence. This was the weapon used to assassinate Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. Archive link and reply to his now deleted post. Well, I didn't delete it. Twitter forced me to delete this.
But I'll tell you this, it's not the first time. This is the second time. No joke. Yes, neither of these, by the way, have resulted in any sort of action from Twitch at all. Your Reddit advocated for killing too. Sorry for spam. Yeah, but here's the difference, right? When did my Reddit advocate for killing people? When did this happen? And also, when did I advocate for it?
He also then, to further push the narrative that I am a
I will say he will ban you off of Reddit and stuff if you're saying stuff like that or being racist. If you're watching his stream, was it yesterday or the other day, he came across that video on his Reddit where the two women kicked the dog and stuff, and people were being a little racist, and I've seen it myself. This is what I mean. People need to actually watch him. Seen it myself. Everybody in chat seen it. He started fucking blocking people, banning them off the Reddit for being racist. So that's why I say, like, people like to say he's a Nazi or he's racist or whatever. They don't actually watch him. I'm like your average person. I watch a lot of things I talk about. I watch these creators, you know. I'm here down in the trenches with you about mostly everything. I'm not rich. I sit on YouTube, watch videos. I go to live streams. I watch live streams. I'm just your regular guy who has a camera right here, has a camera and a computer. That's all I have, okay? And I work and don't make enough. to afford food a lot of the time, you know? He's not racist. Does he say some fucked up shit sometimes and some dumb shit? Yes. Do I disagree with him sometimes? Yes. Do I agree with him sometimes? Yes. You know? That person in his comments that he pulled up, like, I bet, like, he has people to delete people like that. He's being, you know, saying to harm people or whatever.
Radical, a scary radical who advocates for violence. He shows this tweet briefly, my old tweet that Twitter actually forced me to ban, which is a tweet where I quote retweeted sitting U.S. Senator Tom Cotton, who,
and that's a bad look. If you didn't mean it, or if you did, it's a bad look. A lot of people are stupid, and a lot of people are just going to see your name and see that picture. Maybe read what the thing says, what the actual post says, but they're going to see that, and that's a weapon. We all can see that's a makeshift gun. Okay, it's just bad. Like, he's just making, like, the things he say, he may not meet them, but a lot of people is going to misconstrue that and misinterpret that.
Who was advocating to kill peaceful pro-Palestinian demonstrators all the way from April 16th, 2024, almost an entire year ago, where I famously quote retweeted the doohickey, or I guess a meme of a doohickey that was responsible for the assassination of Shinzo Abe. Now, of course, this wasn't serious. I fib. I did this in response to a sitting U.S. senator who had previously in the New York Times written about executing Black Lives Matter protesters by using the military. And this time around, April 15th, was encouraging people. I'm going to read you his words. Senator Tom Cotton said this: I encourage people who get stuck behind the pro-Hamas mobs blocking traffic. Take matters into your own hands to get them out of the way. It's time to put an end to this nonsense. This was, of course, a direct call to violence from a sitting senator, a direct call to violence against peaceful protest.
So just because he said that, which is wrong, and you posting that, they're both wrong. The wrong thing to do. They're both messed up, no matter how you look at it. Okay.
There's engaging in an act of civil
Two
disobedience.
wrongs don't make
If
a
something
right.
like this happened in Arkansas on a bridge there, let's just say I think there'd be a lot of very wet criminals that have been tossed overboard, not by law enforcement, but by the people whose road they're blocking.
So he then doubled down on it and said, we do things differently around these parts. I mean, he's advocating for a direct call for violence. I jokingly quote retweeted that statement with the doohickey. But of course, that was apparently a bridge too far as well for Asmongold. I'm sorry. I've offended Asmongold's sensibilities. Of course, no comments on Tom Cotton, a sitting U.S. senator, actively urging his constituents to go out and kill peaceful demonstrators who are, dare I say, peacefully demonstrating against a genocide. Well, make no mistake, it's most likely that Asmongold is simply responding to the things that he sees in his chat. Having said that, I wanted you guys to see the full context of the story. I was obviously not asking for people to kill Rick Scott. I think that would be ridiculous. I think that justice should be served, however, and justice has not been served against Rick Scott in this case. Justice rarely ever gets served against the rich people who exploit others, against rich people who defraud the federal government. You get a $10 million care package with $300 million in stock options for defrauding poor people that absolutely need this medical care. And then Republicans will turn around and act like the real fraud is happening at the point of the recipients and not the point of the providers.
There's about $50 billion estimated that are lost every year in Medicaid just in fraud alone. No one's for that. We've got to make sure we eliminate it. We have the algorithms now to do that. We have advanced technology to find it.
Thank God for Speaker Johnson.
That is my anger. That is my frustration. And every single person, not Asmongold, but every single Republican operative online, from Tim Pool to Libs of TikTok to many others, know that that is the reality. But they also want you to be distracted. They don't want you to realize that this is what the Republicans are doing. So I urge all liberals, progressives, or even people who are worried about their grandparents or their parents losing their health care, people who might be worried about their children no longer being able to receive Medicaid, to focus on who the vectors of harm truly are, what they're actually doing, instead of constantly engaging in petty squabbles. I shouldn't have used the term kill. I should have used either the term capital punishment or just punishment in general.
Yeah.
But once again, I've let you down. I've used hyperbolic language, and that hyperbolic language has brought trouble my way. As one of the largest progressive, leftist, political content creators online in what feels like is a sea of reactionary sentiment, I am promising you that I will try to use more deliberate and more careful language going forward. Having said that, of course, in an 8 to 10 hour broadcast, when I'm constantly in a contentious battle with members of the chat, because there's always free flow conversation and a lot of back and forth going on in the community, there will probably be some moments that are clippable, but I will try to minimize them to the best of my ability. On that note, I love you all, and I will see you when I'm unbanned.
Okay. Well, he's actually unbanned, by the way. Actually watching this, he was online today, but I'm going to link this in the chat if you care. But I disagreed with him a lot, so I don't know. I'm not gonna. You can go to his video, give it a like if you want, but I don't know. Wasn't feeling it. He needs to use better language if he wants to get a true message by. There was something else I wanted to watch. I'm not gonna react to Asmongold video. What is this? Anything for content? I'm not watching. Maybe we can watch this some other day. I put in watch. Save to watch later. This came out a day ago. We can save this to watch later or something. This right here, though. It's only 11 minutes. Hold on real quick. I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that right now.
losing it. The noose, if it's some losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift. Oh.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
Hotkeys, real quick. Let me see something real quick.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign.
Yeah, there's no mercy in this world, just hunger-thirsty persons in different versions. Each new update, that shit worsens. Why? Pull back the curtain and you'll see the different vermin. We all have different burdens that all seem to cause disturbance. Yo, do me a favor, don't treat me like a neighbor. Don't need the different flavors of your problems just to savor.
I'm trying to look for a show. Things freaking out.
Just go get your own tissue.
That's.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign. A sign.
So on cam, I have. So chat.
Please, Lord, give me a sign. A sign.
I'm so.
Next time you sing along, trust me, there's nothing wrong. I just need to.
I'm so confused right now.
Put there to make you sit. Listen to what they give. Don't ask questions, shut your lid. Yeah, don't ask questions, shut your lid. I need to run away from this and go get off the grid. Feel like my brain is overloaded, man, I'm losing it. Don't let them tell you what to do, man, they don't know shit.
Cam 2. So my thing is, when I do this, pretty sure. Hold on. See, I can just push that, right? But I go here to live, and this is confusing me why it's popping up. Like, if I turn it off on one, I want to just turn it off on both. You know? That's what's confusing me. Like, I can just bring this over here, see it better. So this is in cam. Pretty sure this is that, yeah. But I go down here, this is live, so this is 21. I don't even have that connected. All right, so it's not doing it anymore. So if I go here, so this takes forever to load. I don't know why. So we go down to here, hotkeys. So I just have this on, but it's not. We go back to live. Oh, I can't do anything right now. Okay, so I'm just gonna say forget it. All right, so this video is a 4090. Wait, I can't breathe right now. Okay, is this a 4090 killer? And am I a liar? RTX 5070 review. Let's see. Let's see. We have to watch this. Let's see what's going on.
World that when NVIDIA's CEO told the world that the RTX 5070 would deliver RTX 4090 performance for almost 1/3 of the price, I said,
I'll believe it when I see it.
But now that it's here, it's clear that I was wrong. I'm seeing it, and yet I don't believe it. This is Cyberpunk running at 4K on our 5070, and it is getting more FPS than the RTX 4090 that is right beside it. But how many blades is that fan supposed to have? And does my car have extra bumpers?
Impossible without artificial intelligence.
AI, baby.
The RTX 5070 was never gonna match the 4090's capabilities without a little bit of AI doping. But come on, I was at least hoping that it would beat the RTX 4070 Super in raw power. And yet, in Alan Wake at 1080p, these two cards are dead tied, and at 1440p, it wins by a mere 1 FPS. Is there anything to be excited about?
Well, yes. In spite of his advancing age, LeBron is actually dunking better than ever.
No, I mean about the RTX 5070.
Sorry. Despite NVIDIA's advancing profits, dunking on them is better than ever.
All right, then. Let's get to it. After this layup to our sponsor,
ThreatLocker. I went to their Zero Trust World event.
I'll leave a link to the video in the description, so if you want to watch this, I'm going to skip it.
Since this is currently NVIDIA's entry card for the 50 series, why don't we start with our entry resolution? 1080p with all real frames, no DLSS upscaling, and no ray tracing. And you know what? While we actually did get identical performance to last year's 4070 Super in Alan Wake 2, we did find improvements in some other titles. Black Myth Wukong sees a 5% increase, and we even got a sizable 8% improvement in average FPS in Cyberpunk 2077 and in Returnal. Unfortunately, that's where our good times stop rolling. Because in Red Dead Redemption 2, The Last of Us Part 1, and F1 2024, the 5070 actually loses to the 4070 Super? I need a moment to process this. Okay, I'm good. And now it's time to add insult to injury because not only does it lose to its last-gen counterpart, but in F1, it also loses to AMD's RX 7800 XT, a GPU that launched a year and a half ago for $500 US. But, all right, Linus.
Hold on, I want to see something real quick.
7800 XT.
Because I have a 3080 now, Ti with 12 gigs. It's actually not. Well, this is a 10 gig one. Lows at 137 in F1, high 164. This is 1080p, which I usually play in 1080p. I don't need 4K or anything like that. It does look nice, but I don't have a great monitor or anything like that. So like 1080p high or medium in some games look totally fine to me. That's pretty good. What about other? Cause they showed a few more other. Yeah, that's still F1. Returnal. Holy shit. So, Returnal lows 85, highs 124. Not terrible. All right. Red Dead. Low 109, high 126. Just 10 gig. See, what I'm noticing right here, if you look at this, a lot of the high performance graphics card, they have a lot of VRAM on them. Okay, one thing I didn't realize how important VRAM is. I can see now, especially with these later games, 8 gigs isn't enough. Okay, it's not. But you do want to pay attention of what series it is, so I can't talk, and like where it sits in the line. Like, cause you're gonna get a better chip higher you go. Like, of course, you know, a 3070 it's gonna perform less than a 3090. 4070 is gonna perform less than a 4090 or 4080, and it doesn't really matter like how much gigs it has. You can see like the 16 not the 16 but the oh my gosh, this one right here, I'm having a brain fart right now. It has 12 gigs, but it's performing less than the 3080 10 gig. The 4060 Ti is performing a lot worse than the 4070, of course. The 4070 Super, these cards are a lot higher, but you would think 16 gigs would matter. So you just have to pay attention, and you just don't want to work backwards. What I should really say, you don't want to start off with like a 4070 or a 3070 and go back to like a 4060 or 3060 just because it has more VRAM. And it's not going to turn out too well for you. I'm just trying to say, VRAM isn't the end all be all, but you still want a lot of it, especially with newer gen games. Let's get back into the video.
Actually loses to the 4070 Super? I need a moment to process this. Okay, I'm good. And now it's time to add insult to injury, because not only does it lose to its last-gen counterpart, but in F1, it also loses to AMD's RX 7800 XT, a GPU that launched a year and a half ago for $500 US. But, all right, Linus, maybe. The move to GDDR7, though, is going to help it pull away from the crowd when we kick our resolution into mid-gear. Mid-gear is 1440p.
Oh boy, you guys better be ready for this, because instead of tying in Alan Wake 2 this time, the 5070 wins by 1 frame per second, but instead of losing to Red Dead Redemption 2, it ties this time. As for the rest, It looks like overall at 1440p, the 5070 manages about a 4% improvement over the 4070 Super, though this card was never meant to compete in traditional raster. Let's talk more about ray tracing results.
Let's do, because it turns out when NVIDIA uses AMD's Kryptonite and starts tracing rays, the 5070 pulls away from Team Red pretty handily, beating even the mighty 7900 XTX on average across our 1080p test suite. However, it is worth noting that if we remove Black Myth Wukong, which was a bit of an outlier, it falls back to bouncing in between the 4070 Super and 4070 Ti. Wait, try to read positively. Okay. The good news is that at 1440p, who am I kidding? It's literally the 4070 Super again, with only Returnal standing out as a clear win with a 6.5% uplift. As for 4K, guys, we didn't even bother testing that due to the 5070's anemic 12 gigabytes of VRAM. What is the deal with this card then? The 5070 Ti might not be available at its MSRP, which totally blows, but at least that card performs in theory. It's like 30% better than this thing. That is not a Ti, non-Ti difference. So why does the 5070 feel like a whole lower class of card rather than a proper 70?
Well, because it pretty much is. We won't dive too deep into NVIDIA's new Blackwell architecture.
AI, baby. AI. They're gonna they made the card cheaper, but it comes with a cost. They're gonna use AI. This is one reason I really don't want a 50 series card, because the whole thing to get all these good, like to get the good performance and everything, you know, make it get more frames, make it look better. They're doing it with AI, so the actual chipset and technology in the graphics card, well, it's not as good as like some of these older cards that don't have AI implemented into them. You know, AI is doing a lot of the heavy lifting, because that's what they, want. It's they can get more performance out of it, right? But with less hardware, you know.
Architecture, since we've done it a few times already, but we do need to talk about which Blackwell dies goes into which cards, because it turns out that the 5070 Ti is using the GB203 die, and while the 5070 is using the GB205. And unfortunately, in this case, a higher number does not mean that it's better. It has significantly fewer RT cores, fewer tensor cores, fewer shading units, fewer TMUs, and fewer ROPs, and I think you get the point by now.
And I may be an idiot in some things, but I watch Linus a lot, Austin a lot. I watch a lot of tech YouTubers a lot, and as soon as I heard AI, a lot of people started making videos, and I started really understanding what it is that's actually going on with the 50 series and stuff. It's just a bunch of AI, and it's, you know, if they didn't use AI in these cards, they'd probably be a lot more expensive, a lot more money for us to pay, you know, at the end of the day. But we're sacrificing hardware, actual hardware, and they're just giving us software to, you know, carry the heavy lifting with these graphics cards.
And if we actually go back in time and compare this to the 3070 family, both of those use the same GA104 chip, with the only changes being a 4% bump in CUDA cores, a 2% bump in clock speeds, and an upgrade from GDDR6 to GDDR6X memory. Oh, sorry, Linus. That's why they perform similarly, but one being a bit more TI than the other. This time around, the 5070 Ti is more like a cut down 5080, and the 5070 is more like a roided out 5060, which would be fine if they were priced accordingly.
Okay, but surely there's gotta be somewhere that this card stands out. Oh, and there is, but I don't know if you're gonna like it. To NVIDIA's credit, their AI improvements in their Blackwell architecture do really shine through in well, our AI tests, where not only
you may wonder why, if you've seen my Monster Hunter videos and stuff, I was talking about the performance for that game. My first video, I had a 3070 Ti with 8 gigs of VRAM, right? Now, if you look up the prices for a lot of these GPUs and stuff, you can get a 40 series for around the same price of a 3080, like a 3080 Ti and stuff. Now, the reason I didn't bump up to a 40 series card, because I knew, like, the 3080 Ti is much better than a lower tier 40 series card. And this is even more so for the 50 series card. Don't go, if you can get a new card and you have the money and you see the prices for a low tier, like a 5070 or 57 Ti or something like that, but you can afford like a 4080 or 4090, go with the 4090. It's going to perform way better than those lower tier 50 series cards because of AI, of course, and they just are basically already these lower tier cards, but just using AI. They just implemented AI into these 40 series cards. That's all they did.
Only does it beat the 4070 Super, but it seems to perform more like a 4070 Ti Super. Of course, with that said, AI workloads really benefit from lots of VRAM, and the 12 gigs on this card definitely ends up preventing it from being legitimately useful with larger models. The updated media engine is another bright spot though. The 5070 pulls ahead of the 4070 Ti Super in DaVinci Resolve and even gets within striking distance of the 5070 Ti in Premiere Pro. But with that said, if you were thinking, oh sick, well the 5070 is a productivity wunderkind then. Don't get ahead of yourself, because in our Blender barbershop test, we are right back to 4070 Super performance. Maybe it runs super cool and efficient though?
About that, while the 5070 looks like its bigger Founders Edition brothers, there's one key area here where it loses the genetic lottery. Only one of those two fans in its blow-through design actually blows through the fins and out the other side. This resulted in us seeing a 73-degree average in F1 and a 77-degree average in Combustor. Yikes. It's not thermal throttling or anything, but this puppy is getting as hot as the 5090 was, which is a little surprising given it's using less than half of the power of the 5090. It is a much smaller card, making it easier to fit in a small form factor build or something, but just make sure you've got plenty of ventilation so it can stay cool. As cool as you'll look in our new Framework hoodie with the all-over embroidery. It's expensive, but it looks cool. LTTstore.com.
Really is cool, isn't it? Oh, you're back. All right, dunking aside, the question is this new card for anyone? And believe it or not, the answer is yes, but it probably isn't you. See, the target market for the RTX 5070 is not your PC gaming enthusiasts or your PC building enthusiasts, it's gamers, which sound like the same thing, but hear me out. See, enthusiasts are gonna peep at pixels. They're gonna obsess over the little details, whereas gamers, well, they just demand more pixels and higher FPS. And whether you personally like AI upscaling or NVIDIA's frame generation technology, which interpolates extra frames from fewer real ones, there's no doubt that NVIDIA has delivered on lots of pixels at high frame rates. And if you enable those features, the 5070 really does match or even beat the raw numbers of last generation's flagship. And most gamers, unless their base frame rate is so low that they notice the sluggish input latency, probably won't care. And I guess that's fine. The problem, though, is that not every game supports these magical more FPS buttons. And in unsupported titles, this card is a steaming pile. And the only silver lining is that, I guess by sucking so hard, it probably won't get scalped much? Oh wait, no, there is one other silver lining. If you can wait about 24 hours, AMD is launching a price competitor to this thing that has 33% more VRAM and, on paper, much better performance. Of course, it's AMD we're talking about here, so
I'll believe it when I see it.
Just like I'll believe this segue to our sponsor.
ThreatLocker. Their Zero Trust World cybersecurity event happened last month, and I attended to check out some of the super cool layer to your
some of the issues that can crop up with.
All right, pretty good video. I'm gonna give them a like. I'll link the video in chat. Oh, dang, I almost forgot. Good video. I enjoyed it. It's educational, but he's right. Like, Discord is meant for somebody, but you know, if you're, it's not going to work in every game. The AI stuff, like implemented that stuff, turn that stuff on. It's not going to work in every game. That's what you need to know. So some games you turn it on, it's going to look amazing. It's going to run amazing. Like you're going to be happy, but when that game come across that you want to play and you can't turn that on, you're going to be very disappointed at the end of the day. And, you know, if you're a very competitive person, you don't want fake frames. I mean, it causes latency issues, stuttering. It's not perfect. So if this is good for some people appreciate it, but I will just say, look at videos, look stuff up before you buy a graphics card, you know, because you're going to have some in different series that cost the same price as a lower series. The lower series might be actually better for you, but you know, just look, okay, before you buy anything, take a days even to make sure you're getting what you want with your money at the end of the day. But that said, I'm out. Leave me a like, subscribe, and ring that bell for more videos. And like I always try to say at the end of my videos, have a good day or night whenever you're watching this, okay? Peace. All right, before we do anything else, I need to go back. I forgot to link her video. Pretty sure I liked it. Yeah. Here's her video too. Pretty sure I didn't link that. This is that video if you want to go watch it by yourself. Oh, this is long. This God. 2 hours? Oh my God. Why am I getting a lot of political stuff? I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that today. It's an hour long. It's already kind of late. I'm going to get off and try to go to bed. What the fuck is this?
When it comes
What's the sound? Oh, this is a year ago. I'm so confused. Cause the sound is. Oh wait.
Exotics in Destiny 2, it seems Bungie are missing a few representations in certain categories. For example, while we have a good selection of exotic machine guns, none of them are stasis. So let's fix that. This is the Keyhone's Breath, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, an exotic stasis heavy machine gun from Noah on our Patreon, with the exotic perk that, on first glance, gave me some concern for the balance of this weapon. It's a high impact LMG with a perk called Practice that causes every shot to apply 10 slow stacks, and when combined with the intrinsic perk, which increases the amount of slows applied after shattering an enemy or a stasis crystal, this gun is peak stasis power fantasy. I do have some concerns with this design, however. Applying a slow to every round in PvP is a death sentence, but being that this requires your exotic slot, I think it's okay. In PvE, this sounds fantastic, and I would love to run this with the Actium War Rig on my Titan. But what do you think? Let me know with either a like, comment, or sub, and consider joining us on Patreon.
I should give it a like, 'cause I actually did like that. Wait, what is going on here?
You know how much money I was making back then?
How much?
$20K a month.
That's still a lot of money.
We make that.
Yeah, but why
we
did
make
you,
that in an hour.
No.
It's all about comparisons. I'm not saying it's not a lot of money. I'm not saying it's not a lot of money.
That was the most out of touch thing you've ever said in your life.
No, but
that was the most out of touch thing you've ever said in your life. Oh, you know how much I was making back then? Chump change. 20K a month. Go f yourself.
You are Reddit right now. When I said that back then, compared to now, it's a lot less. I'm not talking about in general. Yep.
Listen, you little stupid fat fuck, and I don't mean that because I love you and I'm not fatphobic and you're great. But fuck you, okay? You say things and you're like, oh my god, I'm the nicest guy in the world. And that's why people don't think you're nice. Because if you were nice, you don't need to say that.
She's right. I used to say that a lot, and I was a piece of shit back then. You know, I'm such a nice guy. But anyways, yeah. You hear guys say that? They're not that nice.
What?
You didn't even listen. Be honest, you didn't listen to anything I said.
Oh, you called me fat. I got shook. You know how much money I was making back then?
How much?
$20K a month.
That's still a lot of money.
We make that.
Yeah, but what?
Yes. What is Emery talking about?
Brutally honest, because I've never made these things before, and I'm learning.
They look good. They look like professional from a bakery. Wait, what?
What is that?
Jalapeno.
Oh, I was like, why is it?
That does look good.
No. Oh, you.
Oh my gosh, that does look really fucking good. Senna, where you at? I want some food.
It was moldy. No, that's
no.
Eat it.
Wait,
is it bread? Oh, it's bread.
Yeah, wait, how many people have you brought it to today?
You're my last stop. It was
Fucking bread. When a girl first gets into baking and stuff and cooking like that, the first thing they get into is fucking bread. I guess because it's one. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. I don't know. I don't know why they get into bread, but funny thing to see.
5 people.
Wait, actually, if I make more bread, do you want me to just give it to you? Because I make I've been baking so much. I mean, it's ungodly.
I will actually eat all of it. You know what? You can ask my chat. I've like pulled out a loaf of bread on stream before and just like eaten from the loaf.
And just eat little pieces. I used to do that with tortillas.
I'll eat your baguette, Senna.
Yes. Okay. Well.
Wait, does that sound weird?
You have to be brutally honest, because I've never made these things before, and I'm learning.
They look good.
Oh wait, can I not look at shorts? Let's go to shorts.
I put the plastic knife in my pocket for some reason. I don't remember why. Then I just started scraping against the desk, and I was like, oh wow, I can cut this desk in half. Did this for like 5 minutes. The teacher was like, what the fuck are you doing? Stop. And I was doing the calculation in my head. I was like, it would take me like 10 hours to cut through this. Okay, I think that would be like a video where people would be interested. So I went to the store on the way home and I bought like the cheapest plastic knives I could find. And then I just got this like $20 fold-out table. Went in my room, hit record on the camera, and I just went to town, and I was just cutting through it. And I think that took 12 hours. In high school, I put the plastic knife in my pocket for some reason.
Okay.
And I just started scraping.
Did a movie with a.
How much are you worth?
I feel sorry for your trans friends.
I don't have any trans friends. Anyways, here's how to tell if your LED sign is cheap.
Hello.
Goodbye. Anyways, if you want to start a business.
I am my boyfriend's first black girlfriend.
If you're black, then I'm the real Donald Trump himself. China.
It gets me every time watching him.
Yo, these graphics are.
Wait. PC graphics versus console.
Yo, these graphics are amazing. That's nothing compared to PC, man. What do you mean, Sheed? My PS5 is running this game at 4K. Isn't that the same as your $2,000 gaming PC running at 4K? Not even close. So most games that you play on PS5 are not even running games at 4K native. What does native mean exactly? A game running at native resolution means that your hardware is generating the exact number of pixels that your monitor or TV was designed to display, so it has the best quality. Most games on PS5 use scaling techniques, which renders the game at a lower resolution first and then scales it up to 4K for better performance. It's kind of like when you take a really low resolution picture and then try to print it out on a big sheet of paper. It turns out blurry, right? Scaling techniques help make this blurry image look better, but it's still not the same quality as native. Now that you mention it, that does make sense. I guess the PS5 would have to cost a lot more if it were actually that powerful. Yeah, one of the main advantages of gaming on console is that it's more affordable, so it would kind of defeat the purpose if PS5 was costing like $2,000.
Yeah. Yeah, perfect.
Is there anything good about me?
Yes, your person. Last one.
Is there anything good about me?
Yeah.
Can you name 3 things?
I can name one thing.
What?
You have a really, really, really big.
I guess that's all that matters at the end of the day.
What?
I said heart, guys. Heart. Good one.
Oh, okay.
Good about me?
Okay.
Yes, your person. Last one.
Did you guys notice? Sam, did you notice? It's your.
I want to get the rest of these, but I don't think I'm going to.
Me neither. Bring it to Catchy.
You didn't hear?
What?
She went home.
Wait, what?
Yeah, all the hate threads, yeah.
I mean, that's kind of sad.
Bullet her out of America, yeah.
But is she coming back?
No. She's gone.
Sorry, I thought of something really funny. And I didn't want to say it because I didn't want to make you upset.
Just say it. I can't get. I literally can't get upset.
I was going to ask, was she going to take then the other 50? But that was a really.
Okay.
That was too far.
All right. I want to get the rest of these, but.
What did you do?
This one tells time.
How good can bad singing sound with autotune?
How many other Earths are there?
There's no one.
Bro, imagine having a warden.
Nice. This one has
Bolt charge. For PC gaming, what's better, HDMI or DisplayPort? Once your PC build is complete, this is honestly like the nerdiest thing that you gotta figure out. The terms HDMI and DisplayPort are referring to the physical layout of the connector, which I'm sure you know the difference of already. But behind those terms are version numbers, and this part of PC gaming is actually super annoying if you're a rookie. One HDMI version could be better than a DisplayPort version or vice versa. And you have to take into account the version number of 3 different things. First, there's the version of the port on your graphics card, then there's the version of the port on your monitor, and finally the version of the cable. The maximum version technology that you'll be able to use is whatever the lowest version is in that chain of 3 things. If you configure your display settings and only see 120 Hz as an option even though your monitor supports 240, that could be because of your cable, GPU port, or even the monitor port. I can't really help you with a specific situation because it's going to be different every time. But my main recommendation is to know that this is what you should research if you're ever getting results that you didn't expect. For PC gaming,
people don't mind bald. They don't. You give me a set.
Did you know?
They say if people got nominated for the best song of the year doing this, doing that, the only person that I sat seeing go up on that stage, Kendrick Lamar. This man won 5 Grammys off of.
I mean, there are a lot of other companies in the world that would be able to make like a very good earbud.
I'm gonna be honest. I think I'm done for tonight at least. I'm gonna try to go to bed now, but I'm gonna have to get something to eat first. But I'm gonna try to get up earlier tomorrow, get a video out, so we'll have to worry about that. Maybe I can edit 2 videos, have one out for tomorrow and the next day, so I'll be golden, but anyways, I'm a little tired and hungry, so I'll catch y'all tomorrow, hopefully. So, everyone, have a good night, or if you're watching this in a different country, have a good morning, and don't do anything crazy. All right? I'm watching you. Peace.